Hey artists, in this video we're going to talk about the painting process for a graphite transfer on canvas project. By now you've already completed the graphite transfer process with pencil and outlined your drawing with marker or darkened it with pencil. At this point you're ready to start painting. I like using the Sharpie marker as my outline because when I paint with the acrylic paint, as long as the paint is thinly applied, you'll still be able to see your outlines that you made. There are premixed colors in jars in our classroom. You can use those, or you can use a small palette. The small palettes can be saved inside of a Ziploc bag so that you can use the same colors again in the next class. While you're working, I like to work with the paints in a jar. So as I'm using the paints, I make sure that I put them back on the cart and I make sure that they have a lid on them so that the paints do not dry out. Sometimes it's helpful to pick up the canvas so that you can get around the edge of the canvas. When you're painting, you're going to need different size brushes. Smaller brushes for smaller areas and bigger brushes for bigger areas. When I'm painting the background, I try to go around the entire edge and I like to hold it so that I can go over the edge of the canvas, and then I switch back to a smaller brush so that I can go close up to the character and fill in any of those spaces that still need the background color. If you want to speed up the drying between any of these steps of your painting, you can absolutely use the hairdryer to help you with that. There are some metallic paints on the cart that you can use for your project as well. When it comes down to outlining, you don't have to use black. For my outline, I used a dark shade of blue, so I mixed black and the blue together to make a new shade of a very dark blue for my outline. I felt like that matched my character because there's blue in the background and there's blue in the uniform, so I liked using the dark blue as an outline. You could try using an outline with a dark green or very dark red as well by taking one of the colors that's in your design and just mixing it with black. I'm also using a very thin brush, and you'll notice that the brush never has paint all the way up to the metal part of the brush. So the paint is just on the very tip of the brush, and I'm applying the paint very delicately and pressing lightly. That's keeping my lines all very thin. Another tip when you're doing the outlining is starting from the middle of the artwork and then rotating the canvas around as you're working, so that way your hand can be resting on the canvas in an area where there are no lines, so you're not smudging it with your hand. So you can definitely rotate your artwork while you are working to help you with your outlining process. I can't wait to see what you create for your finished graphite transfer on canvas art project.